Keep your money in your shoe. Those women in deep Elem got them deep Elem blues. Oh, sweet mama, your daddy's got them deep Elem blues. Oh, sweet mama, your daddy's got them deep Elem blues. When you go down to the Elem, have a little fun. Have your $20 ready when that policeman comes. Oh, sweet mama, your daddy's got them deep Elem blues. Oh, sweet mama, your daddy's got them deep Elem blues. Keep your money in your pants. Those women in the Elem don't give a man a chance. Oh, sweet mama, your daddy's got them deep Elem blues. Oh, sweet mama, your daddy's got them deep Elem blues. Listen, Colonel John. Preached the Bible through and through. He went down to the Elem. Now his preaching days are through. Oh, sweet mama, your daddy's got them deep Elem blues. Oh, sweet mama, your daddy's got them deep Elem blues. Blues down in Texas. That's an old traditional song, goes way back to the 1920s, and it's been recorded by so many people. The Georgia Crackers, is that the band that we heard them do it in like 1924?
23.
23, yeah. Check it out, it's actually on YouTube, and you know, Jerry Lee Lewis, Rory Gallagher, and the version that I love the most is, of course, by the Grateful Dead. And Jerry Garcia used to sing it, and I think Bob sings it now. And yeah, it's a cool blues, kind of got a bit of a country feel, got a great guitar line that's, you know, with some nice melody in it, and just got a great feel. Hard to, you know, it's really not that complex. I use a lot of seventh chords when I'm comping. And this little movable D7th chord is, of course, really a really key blues guitar chord. And a nice extension, little secret, just extend it. So the 5th fret, your index finger is on the B string, and then on the 7th fret, G string and high E. So you extend it from the... I guess that's kind of a cross between a 7th and a 9th. You studied music, John. But anyway, it works.
That's a 7th, but it's close to how you usually play a 9th up there, right?
Yeah, like that's a 9th,
right.
but it's a little dirtier. Because it's got that root in it there. It's got a lot of verses in it, and you know, when I've heard the Dead do it for the last 40 years, the verses always get switched around. So nothing wrong with that. John, talk about your piano approach on that too.
You know, oddly enough, this song, my approach to this is reminiscent of another song, The 44 Blues by Howlin' Wolf.
Yeah.
And it's got a kind of a similar bass line, or that line works in this context, and sometimes some of the right hand stuff I do, I sort of take from that influence too. But yeah, other than that, it's a 12-bar blues, but it's got just a different feel because of its kind of old-timey roots, you know.
Yeah.
It's,
Let me ask you this, one thing we haven't talked about yet. You're also a guitar player, and you obviously know what it means to be playing and have other rhythm instruments playing behind you. What's your approach, or what advice would you give to keyboard players backing up lead guitar players?
Well, I guess there's a lot of different ways you could answer that question. I mean, one thing that you can do is to double what other instruments are playing, but when you do that, you've got to be really precise about doubling really exactly. Otherwise, if things don't line up quite right, then it just sounds sloppy. The opposite approach is to do something completely different than what another instrument plays in order to complement them. But I mean, I remember when I was playing with Buddy Guy, he was always telling me to play busy and play free, but not turn up too loud when you're doing that, so that it's sort of like in the background. If you listen to some of the old blues players, like he referenced Johnny Johnson because we were running into Johnny Johnson here and there on the road then. But you know, in some of those recording studios, those guys were way up high on the keyboard just to cut through. Yep. But and they could play as busy as they wanted to, but it was never overbearing because the piano was never that loud in the mix. So it kind of complemented what the other instruments were doing. Yep. Nowadays, with the in improved recording technology, the keyboards can end up a lot louder in the mix, but sometimes you want to take a different approach depending then, but, yeah, I mean, you can double what the other instruments are playing, or try to give them space, or play around them. There's a myriad of different approaches that work.
Very cool. Thanks, John.